The Telangana Rashtra Samiti, all set to celebrate its 21st birthday this week, and on the brink of adulthood, the party is certainly setting its sights on bigger ambitions, winning a third term in Telangana itself, and Mr KCR has declared that he is going to play a national role. I have with me the working president of the party, Mr. Rama Rao. Third time round, it's going to be a tough battle. What is the need that you saw to hire an I-PAC if you're confident about what you have done in Telangana?
No, we'll be lucky a third time as well. In fact, like they say, third time is a charm, and I think we have been consistently the only voice, in terms of our unequivocal, unconditional, uncompromised love for the people of Telangana and the people and Telangana's interests. So therefore, I don't see it as a huge challenge to come back in 2023. But yes, with agencies like I-PAC and agencies such as those, it has become imperative for all political parties to also change in terms of their strategies in sync with times. So for instance, in 2014, when we assumed office for the first time, when Telangana state came into being, any kid who was 10 is today a voter. So now how do I reach that voter? Anybody who was 15 is today 23. So that young millennial, or even Gen Z as they call themselves, is that core group that we need to also talk to. So digital strategies and inputs, valuable inputs, sometimes as somebody said, an objective outsider opinion, all these things also will help augment. But the fact, Uma, is no strategist, no agency can save you if the people do not want you. So much for that.
Over the weekend, Mr. KCR, and you also had meetings with Mr. Prashant Kishor. What did he tell you?
Well, he obviously means well for us, and he was the one who made introductions. Prashant Kishor is somebody who we've been talking to for the last 7-8 years, in fact. So we know him personally at a personal level.
This is the first time he's coming over, spending the night at your camp office and holding meetings over 2 days.
Well, this is the first time you guys came to know about it because we spoke about it. He has come here several times without you guys knowing about it. So obviously we can also keep some things under wraps. But the fact is, see, like I said, we know him for a long time. We've had several meetings in the past. When you meet guys like Prashant, who have worked in several states, there are interesting anecdotal experiences here, there, everywhere. There are always going to be, some common learnings, etc. So, yeah, he's the one who introduced us to I-PAC because he's the founder and now he's no more associated with it. That's a different story, but he's the one.
The fact that he's talking to the Congress and it's still open-ended what kind of a role he'll play there, you don't see any conflict at all considering the Congress is your opposition here?
See, firstly, Congress, I don't know if it can be taken seriously anywhere in the country because, Mr. Rahul Gandhi himself has lost Amethi. And not only has he lost Amethi, but even after losing the parliament election back in 2019, in the recently held assembly elections, there has not been a single course correction in the last 3 years. So not a single assembly seat from Amethi parliament has been won by Congress. So how does
Mr. Prashant Kishor, who you are taking in high regard, who you talk about in high regard, also speaks about Congress as a necessity for getting the BJP out of power, which is what Mr. KCR has been speaking about.
Well, in fact, I think PK is just latching onto a sick unit. That's what it is. That's what's happening. I don't attach too much significance to it. See, as a strategist, as somebody who's looking at the political scenario from outside, he may have his opinion. My opinion is that Congress is a redundant institution and Congress is no longer relevant as far as Indian politics is concerned.
In your state, is in Congress still the main opposition? Don't tell me MIM is the opposition because obviously they are limited to a particular geographical area and they are also your friendly party.
How do you take an opposition, so-called principal opposition, which contests in an assembly election and can only secure 3,000 votes, when less than what probably a councillor or a local sarpanch would poll? Would you really take that opposition seriously?